If you own a business and you're tired of gurus charging between $12,000 and $20,000 for a course coupled with a group call to teach you meta ads, this video is for you. We're gonna break down step by step Instagram follower ads and exactly when you should use them as a business owner. I'm Clinton Dye and I've helped 172 businesses scale with Meta and Google ads, and that number continues to go up every day. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Instagram follower ads are typically boosted posts, otherwise referred to as traffic optimized ads, with the intent of getting strangers to follow your page. Ding, ding, ding. You may want to pay attention to that. There's probably going to be a test later. Here's why this matters to you, is you don't want to rely on the organic system of Meta to provide you leads. What you want is a predictable system that generates leads 24/7 for your business. The old technique in 2025 and earlier was essentially Facebook groups. What you would do is follow these groups and belong to them, and then over time you would message people and generate leads that way. Problem. First, those people might not want what you have to sell. Second problem is you can only send so many messages to strangers every day before they shut that down. A far better way to generate business in 2026 is to just market your business on social media, ask them for the follow because you've not asked for anything in return. And then through your content, seeing you regularly, you're gonna build trust, rapport, and conversion over time becomes way easier. Now, when would you even wanna run follower ads? If you have a budget that's between $0 and $100 a day, follower ads make sense to you. A budget that's between $100 and $1,000 a day, DM style ads make sense to you. And if you have a budget greater than $1,000 a day, $1 to $10 to $100,000 a day, pick your number, then scheduled calls make sense, specifically if you're selling something very high ticket. Before you start running your ads, you need two things in place. One is you need an Instagram or Facebook page that's optimized to generate sales. They need to understand who you are, what you do, your claim to fame, and a call to action. Secondly, you want an organic system in place because your content should be designed for conversion, not going viral. Let's manage expectations up front. The majority of creators, only 4%, make more than $7,000 a month from social media. On contrast to that, I have clients doing 6 and 7 figures a month from their Instagram funnel alone. Now, here's how you're going to set this up. Go to your Instagram page or your Facebook page and find the post that most ideally aligns with your ideal client, that got the most interactions, comments, follows, likes, shares. Here's the kicker. Has to be in alignment with the thing that you sell, your ideal fit client. A bad example of something like that would be lifestyle content. Lifestyle content has horrific conversion. It's actually the worst type of conversion of all the content. So it doesn't matter how many people like, comment, share on your lifestyle. A good example of what I would do if I were a roofer is say, hey, homeowners, when was the last time you got on top of your roof and inspected it? And if you haven't, here's why it's costing you tens of thousands of dollars. Use the Instagram desktop only when you're gonna launch these ads, simply because you're gonna get feed 30% from Apple by just launching them from your phone for convenience. Go ahead and boost that post. You're gonna optimize for profile visits and then potentially create a custom audience. Inside that custom audience, you're gonna select age, gender, and location, and then you're gonna leave everything else to automatic because Meta's gonna go off and run and do their magic. For budget, I would use a testing budget between $25 and $50 a day because Meta suggests you should get at least 50 conversions of the type you want per week. That's pretty easy when you're doing follower ads, but in reality, 1 to 2 conversions a day will keep the system healthy enough that you can generate revenue and test your creatives. Now, successful criteria here to measure whether this is working well for you or not is typically you want to see your follower rate somewhere around $1 to $3, highly dependent on what you sell and how long you've been doing it for, the quality of your content, etc. And I'm not talking how it looks, I'm talking the meat and the potatoes of the value that the content brings. Don't be afraid that if the first time you do this, it doesn't work well for you, is because you're not asking Meta a lot. You're asking them to give you someone that's interested to view your page. Ultimately, if you attract too many or a percentage high enough of the wrong type of person, it can go off the rails. The whole goal here is to affordably attract people that are interested or potentially interested in the thing that you sell or serve. If you can satisfy that, you can potentially gain leads at between $1 to $3 a lead, which is very, very profitable. Now, once you get your first sell into the system, what you want to do is essentially measure what your ROI is. If I put $100 in and I got 400 back, my ROI would basically be 4x. If you're running ads and you're getting at least a 3x conversion, highly dependent once again on what you sell, I would say you could be running a profitable business. I would double down and see if we can increase those margins and help elevate that number. But 3 is the minimum. If I get below a 3, say like a 1 to 2x, cancel them, relaunch some new creatives, or try again. Now, once you get some bites and you're starting to get some results, it comes time to scale them. This one's pretty easy. If you have a known good campaign, it's producing your desired outcome, it's attracting people that align with your product or service that you sell, simply add in 20% to the budget, say every couple days. Let it ride, make sure there's no changes, then add in another 20%. So we're going to take it from 100 to 200, make sure there's no impacts. We're going to take it all the way up from 200 to 400, make sure there's no negative impacts. Keep scaling that creative. I've been doing this for over 3 years, and what I find for businesses that market on social media is a couple things. One, they don't have enough creative diversity. It means that they're not hitting the client from enough potential angles. They launch one creative and they just let it ride. That typically doesn't work well. It's because you could have swung and missed. But if you launch multiple creatives, we'll say 3 to 10, the likelihood that you're going to find something that works better than everything else is pretty high. Additionally, most businesses dramatically underspend. They have this expectation that they're going to spend $100 and make 100,000. Pablo Escobar can't do that. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have mathematical tracking so that you can ensure conversion. When you have conversion, you know whether to abandon ship or start to scale the ad, and that's 3x return. Once again, highly dependent on what you sell. The standard of marketing is, once you've dialed this in, is about 10%. So your budget for any marketing campaign, regardless whether it's Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, should be about 10%, 8 to 10% of your top line revenue goals. I want to do 100,000 a month. I should be spending close to $10,000 a month on marketing. The platform really is a moot point. Look, and this system works. My client, RH Screen Plus Roofing, was able to generate over $450,000 from their Instagram funnel alone. In the last 30 days, as in last month, March, they generated almost $70,000. But here's the cool part. Approaching this first week or two of the month, they're already approaching another $65,000 in sales. First Choice Tile Inc. invested $463 in their marketing campaign on the Instagram and Facebook platform. They generated over $20,000 in custom and kitchen bathroom sales. That's nearly a 43x ROI. You have to put in the work, get good, dial in the systems, pay attention to the numbers, and continue to refine over time. But once you do dial it in, it is a highly effective marketing strategy. Now, when it comes time to scale, it's pretty simple. Once you hit about $10,000 to $20,000 a month from your marketing campaigns, it's about time to add in a virtual assistant, because someone has to be sending those messages Ricky tick. Don't let followers just trail off. When they follow the page, you send them a message, hello, welcome to the page. What brings you my direction? You interested in product or service that I have to offer, or are you just checking out the content? And let them answer, oh, cool. No worries. Stick around and see how I help, families just like yours solve their clean drinking water issues in Southern California. Dope, and move on with life. But at about $10,000 to $20,000, you can afford a virtual assistant. You hire a virtual assistant to handle all those messages and push people into your sales pipeline. If that's getting on a call with one of your sales reps or you, they're probably going to have between 1 to 10 leads a day to filter through on average, depending on the budget. That's fine. You have 3 calls a day, you'll close 1 every day. It's a very predictable scaling strategy. The system works. Start with $25 to $50 a day with your marketing budget, and then scale it up from there. If you own a service business interested in installing this back-end system for your business, go ahead and click the link below and schedule a call with my team so we can get you started today.